Gemilas Chasadim, kindness. And then he says, Vashkomas Beis HaMedrash Shachris V'Arvis. Waking up early to study. Study comes after prayer. Waking up early to study, early morning and late at night. So some want to say that he's referring to those who open the doors of the synagogue, those who lock the doors in the synagogue, those who organize the synagogue. In other words, they're helping others. They're helping others. It's not just learning themselves. You can learn yourself, you can learn at home. Why do you have to go learn in the Beis HaMedrash? In the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe says that we're talking about organizing classes in public, learning in public. Even a person who could learn himself maybe prefers to learn himself. Because when you learn yourself, you're learning on a more advanced level. When you're learning in the Beis HaMedrash, you organize a class, a shir. It's not always on the highest level. You want to incorporate more people. So in a way, you're sacrificing yourself just to encourage other people to learn. So you organize a class and you're learning with others and everyone is learning together. And even someone who can learn a more advanced level sacrifices his learning just to learn with everyone, to encourage people to come learn. So it's an act of kindness. It's not just learning. He's talking about the act of kindness that affects others. You're not sitting at home and learning, you're running to the Beis HaMedrash to learn, together with others. You want to inspire others to learn so people can see you in public and they see you learning, and you're the first one there and the last one out. So you're inspiring other people to learn. You don't just care about yourself. That's also an act of kindness. Achnasas Orchim. Achnasas Orchim is hospitality, strangers. This is something that Avram instituted. Avram was the ultimate machnas orach. Avram opened his tent and all four doors, and he ran to greet the three angels who looked like Arabs. Right after his bris, Avram was the ultimate epitome of achnasas orchim, of taking in guests. But with achnasas orchim, we find something very interesting. What's unique about achnasas orchim? Hospitality versus tzedakah. He doesn't say tzedakah. He's very specific. He's very specific. Achnasas orchim, hospitality, taking in guests to your home. Because there's a difference between tzedakah and taking guests into your home. Tzedakah, the most important thing is that the person gets the money. The deed is done. So much so that even if you go down the street and you lose money, you lose a $10 bill, and you're upset that you lost a $10 bill. And then meanwhile, a starving beggar found that $10 bill, and your $10 bill saved his life. He was able to buy a sandwich. You saved his life. You have the mitzvah. You had no intent. You're actually upset that you lost the money. You weren't even aware. You don't even know what happened. But the fact is that your money saved the person's life, so the deed is done. It doesn't matter where you're at. All that matters is the results. It's the results that matter. Hospitality, however, is different. Hospitality, the results are not enough. You are an essential ingredient. It's how it's done, not only the end result. The how it's done is actually critical. As Maimonides says, that if a person is very hospitable, you have a guest in your home, you feed them, what's the ultimate expression of hospitality, Maimonides says? Escorting the guest. After they leave, after the meal is done, walking them out the door. That's the most important part of the whole thing. And he says if you don't escort them, you fed them, you gave them a 4-course dinner, 5-course dinner, French cuisine, beautiful. You didn't just feed them basic necessities, but like Avram, you fed them the best. Tongue, he ran to get 3 tongue for these 3 nomads. Slaughtered 3 animals just to feed these 3 nomads. But you don't escort them. That Rambam says, it's as if you murdered them. What do you mean as if you murdered them? Because I didn't escort them, I murdered them, I just fed them, I took care of them, I gave them a royal feast, a royal banquet. Just because I didn't escort them, I murdered them. And the answer is, because it's essential to the guest whether you really care about them personally. Oh, did you just feed them because it was a starving Jew you never met in your life and you will never meet again? So the deed is done. I had to feed him, so I fed him. There's nothing personal. I don't care about you. I took care of you. You're not hungry anymore. You're not starving. You have what to eat. Have a nice life, goodbye. I don't want to know your name, I couldn't care less about you. So when the person leaves, walks out the door, and you don't even bother to escort him, you murdered him. Because up until now he thought that you cared about him, personally. You took a personal interest in him, you were taking such good care of him, you fed him so nicely, you gave him a bed to sleep over. But now you don't even bother to escort him in the door. What you're saying is, goodbye, don't take anything I've done personally. It's not about you. I couldn't care less about you, personally. I like doing kindness. It's about me. I like doing kindness. I'll even be kind to people I don't even like. So I don't care about you. Maybe I don't even like you. I don't know you. I don't know you, and I don't want to know you. So you murdered him. Because in the Achnasas Erchim, what's the essential part is you have to make him feel like $1 million. You have to take an interest in him. You have to really care about him. Thank you for coming to my table. I get a chance to say hello to you, to get to know you, to speak to you, know your name, and so much so that you're leaving and I may never see you again, so I want to escort you. I don't want you. I feel bad that I'm never going to see you again. We became such good friends, and I was so happy that we ate together, and I was able to. So you escort him. So then he feels great. All that kindness that he did, that hospitality was personal, it was warm. So that level of kindness, a level of kindness where you take an interest, that's a level of kindness where the rewards are so great that even though the principle is for the world to come, but nevertheless, the dividends will come into this world. Because even though the act of kindness generates something so infinite that the world simply doesn't have the capacity to absorb such a reward, but nevertheless, there are windows, there are openings, where the light is able to penetrate, even in this world. That when you do such an act of kindness, it will also have a physical effect. As it says in the Medrash, if a person wants to have male children, it's through the mitzvah of Achnasas Erchim. If you're kind and you take in guests, Hashem will bless you and reward you physically, that you will be blessed with a physical son. As the Baal Shem Tov said, "B'mei yizaken nar es orchei." It says in Tehillim. So literally it means, how will a child, in Kapitel 119, how does a child go on a meritorious path? The Baal Shem Tov said, "B'mei yizaken nar." If you want to have the schus, to have a nar, to have a boy, a baby boy, it's orchei. It's through Achnasas Erchim, through the oirach, through the guest. By having Achnasas, doing Achnasas Erchim, you'll merit. So there'll be a reward, a dividend, a physical reward, not just the spiritual reward, and your reward will remain intact. Even when you get the dividend, your reward will remain intact. As a matter of fact, the whole Hasidic movement started because of the mitzvah of Achnasas Erchim. The Baal Shem Tov's father, Rabbi Lezer, was very old, and him and his wife never had children. But he was tremendously kind, and hospitality, that was his mitzvah. Every Shabbos by his table, he would have 20, 30 people sitting at his table. And he would serve them and make them feel great. And he was blessed, he was wealthy, and he took care of them. And one day, a poor person shows up for the lunch meal, for Kiddush, JFK, just for Kiddush. Everyone was astonished. Where's this person coming from? It was a little shtetl. He traveled in the middle of Shabbos. He must have come to the city in the middle of Shabbos. It means he desecrated Shabbos. And Rabbi Lezer didn't pay attention, took care of him, sat him next to him, took care of him. And everyone was grumbling. How this person desecrated Shabbos? And they made Rabbi Lezer feel very uncomfortable. And he went to his room and he was crying, and then he realized, wait a minute, I left the poor person all by himself. They're just going to make him feel uncomfortable. So he went back out, and he showed even greater kindness to the poor person. And he took care of him that meal and Shalosh Shudas again. And they would sleep over that night, Malava Malka, and Sunday morning he would give them money and they would leave. So this poor person revealed himself to Rabbi Lezer and says, you should know I'm Eliyahu Navi, and I came to test you. And you passed with flying colors. Your kindness, your level of kindness was so astounding. Because of that, you're going to merit to have a son who's going to light up the whole world. And that was the Baal Shem Tov. His son was the Baal Shem Tov. And he told him, Eliyahu Navi told him that when your son will be 2.5 years old, you should tell him, you should give him this message, that he shouldn't be afraid of anything in this world, only Hashem himself. Nothing else, only Hashem. So the whole Hasidic movement started with this mitzvah of achnasas erch, hospitality, kindness, having people around the table. So these are one of the mitzvot where the dividends are in this world. Then he says, bikr chaylim, visiting the sick. Bikr also comes from the word to search, to see what they need. What does the person need? Not just to visit them, but anything they need that you can help out. And that's a tremendous mitzvah. Visiting the sick. When someone is sick and vulnerable and you're there for them, tremendous act of kindness. Tremendous act of chesed. And the dividends for that mitzvah are in this world, not just in the world to come. Achnasas kala, helping someone get married. That's the ultimate mitzvah. Helping someone get married. To be able to bring another soul into this world, to give birth to another Jew, to bring a Jew into this world. There's nothing greater than that. That union, that revelation of a new Jew, of a new neshama into this world, that's the highest thing you can do in life, to help a person get married. Not only to help pay for the wedding dress or the gown, but also help someone find a shidduch, help someone find a good match. Is a tremendous, tremendous thing. Alvayas ameis, escorting the dead. It's the ultimate act of kindness. It's an act of kindness which can never be reciprocated. That person can never repay you. Usually when you do an act of kindness, you expect that person to repay you. Now you're doing an act of kindness, and when you'll need one, you'll be able to collect. Here you're never collecting. This is it. He's not late, he's gone, it's over, it's finished. And yet you're taking your time and helping make sure the person has a proper, respectful burial and pay your respects. That's the ultimate act of kindness. It's a pure kindness. Chesed shel emes. It's pure. No ulterior motive. There's no ulterior motive possible. You're not getting anything back. He's not going to come to your funeral. It's over. It's pure chesed. Ve'iyun tefillah, prayer, davening. How does davening come into the picture? Maimonides says we're talking about mitzvot between man and man. That mitzvot between man and man have the unique quality that the dividend you benefit also in this world, not just in the world to come. Spiritual reward, you're also going to have reward in this world. Iyun tefillah, prayer. Prayer is a spiritual activity. So once Rashi explains, one explanation is, we're talking about praying for your friend. When you pray for your friend, that's an act of kindness. I'm praying for my friend. He should get well, he should find a shidduch, he should have parnasa, he should have shalom bayit, whatever it is. I'm praying for my friend. That's an ultimate act of kindness. You have your own needs, and yet, what are you praying for? You're praying for your friend. That's an act of kindness. And prayer is powerful. Prayer helps, especially when you pray for your friend. There's nothing that Hashem loves more when He sees one Jew cares about a fellow Jew. Like brothers, sisters will get along with each other so much that you forget about your own problems, you set aside your own problems, and what are you worried about? Your friend's problems and your friend's needs. Wow, Hashem is going to respond to that. So your prayer is very powerful. So what a kindness that you're doing to your friend. But another explanation Rashi gives, a very profound explanation. Rashi says that when you pray, you're doing a kindness to your soul, to yourself. We're kind to the whole world. But we shouldn't forget to be kind to our neshama. Our neshama is like a guest in this world. Our neshama doesn't feel at home in this world, doesn't feel comfortable. Our neshama suffers from existential angst. If we don't pay attention to our neshama, we go through our whole life, we're so busy. We're so busy. We're so distracted with wonderful things. We're helping the whole world. But your neshama is crying. Why is your neshama worse than anyone else? Why are you treating your neshama less than you treat a stranger? Your own neshama needs time. It needs you to listen. It needs to express itself. Your neshama is so gentle, your neshama is so refined, your neshama is so subtle. You need to find the space and the time to allow your neshama, to listen to your neshama, allow your neshama to express itself, allow your neshama to be itself and to feel at home. And when is that time? Prayer. Prayer is a time when you close your eyes. Prayer is a time when you're focusing on your neshama. You're becoming centered. You're connecting, consciously connecting with the godliness within you. You're allowing your neshama to emerge. Otherwise, we get so busy and so distracted, and we're so loud that we don't allow our neshama to express itself. And our neshama doesn't go anywhere. You think you're saving time? I don't have time to pray. It's too much time, too time consuming. To pray properly, it's too time consuming. You have to learn, and then you have to meditate, and I don't have the time. You're not saving any time. The time that you saved because you neglected your neshama, you're not saving any time. You're going to end up with addictions. You're going to end up with problems, so many problems that you have. You're not saving any time. You're going to end up with heartache because your neshama cannot be ignored. You can't treat your neshama, I don't have time for you, I'm too busy. I'm too busy saving the world. I don't have a minute for my own neshama. So Rabbi Yechon says it doesn't work that way. It's an act of kindness. Davening. Allowing your neshama to breathe. Your neshama is dying inside. How cruel could you be? You're kind to the whole world, but you're cruel to yourself, your own neshama. Your neshama, why is your neshama any worse than any stranger? Why does the neshama doesn't deserve the time and the effort to allow the neshama to breathe? The neshama is dying inside of you. The neshama is dying, is starving, is trapped, is tortured to death. How cruel could you be to your own neshama? Give it the time of day. Allow it to breathe, allow it to express itself, allow it to feel whole. That's what tefillah is. Ian tefillah. It's not talking about just praying superficially. Ian tefillah. Paying attention to the davening. Davening properly. Where your neshama could experience, connect with Hashem, consciously connect with Hashem, experience that v'ahavtas Hashem, experience that love for Hashem, experience the faith in Hashem, experience the unity of Hashem, experience the awe of Hashem, experience that relationship, allow your neshama to come alive, to feel recharged, re-energized, rejuvenated. It's a question of rachmanis, it's a question of pity and compassion. Have pity and compassion in your neshama. And those who don't have time to daven, don't have time to focus on their own spiritual self. I'm busy saving the world. It will be selfish for me to take time and study Chassidus and reflect and daven. So Rabbi Yochanan is saying, selfish. That is selfish. Not davening is the most selfish thing in the world. You got to be a monster. How cruel could you be to your own neshama? Have rachmanis. Why do you have rachmanis in the whole world and you don't have rachmanis in your own neshama? Who's dying, who's suffering, who's in pain, crying out in pain, and you're not saving anything. Because every minute that you did not spend focusing on your neshama and davening properly, you didn't save any minute. You're going to end up with so many problems. So many internal problems that's going to consume your time and consume your life. You didn't save anything. So you might as well just take that time. Give the neshama the time that it needs. Lock the door. Stop saving the world for a minute. There's a time for davening. And you can't save the whole world if you don't daven. If you're not kind to yourself. The Rebbe would always tell people, you should have nachas from yourself. Besides having nachat from the whole world, and from your children, and from your spouse, and from everything, from your parents, and your siblings, you should also have nachat from yourself. It's very important. If you don't have time for yourself, you have nothing to give to the world. If there's nobody home, if there's no one inside, if what's inside is not pulsating, alive and vibrant, if your neshama is not pulsating, alive and vibrant, and you don't feel energized and joyful and inspired and uplifted and whole and connected, if inside you're crying inside, you murdered yourself inside, your neshama is dying inside because you completely neglected it, you're not helping anyone. You're bringing a lot of darkness to the world, but you're not bringing any light to the world. You want to light the world, illuminate the world? It all starts with iyun tefillah. That's the ultimate act of kindness. Not only is it a kindness to yourself, but ultimately, if you have kindness and rachmanis and your own neshama, words from the heart enter the heart, you'll be much more effective. You'll be able to help other people. You'll be able to help them get in touch with their neshama, which is the ultimate kindness. Because all problems come because we're not in touch with our neshama. The more in touch you are with your neshama, you become a living example, and you can guide and show other people how they can get in touch with their neshama, which will help them resolve all their issues, all their problems, all their difficulties, all their challenges. So it's the ultimate act of kindness, iyun tefillah. It's an unbelievable Rashi. This is Rashi. That's why it's kindness. It's doing kindness to your own neshama. That's an act of kindness as well. Don't skip over yourself. Don't forget over yourself. When the Rebbe started Tzach, he says the foundation of Tzach is, yes, you have to help another Jew, but also you have to help yourself. The two go hand in hand. You can't be coarse and crass and neglect your neshama and expect that you're going to change the world, you're going to revolutionize the world. No. All revolutions start inside. The whole world is in my heart. The revolution starts inside of you. And that's, by the way, the only one we can control is ourselves. We don't control the world. Anyone else besides ourselves. So if you can help your neshama, put your ego on the side, and iyun tefillah, really listen to your neshama, allow your neshama to emerge with all of that gentleness and love and goodness and depth and kindness and godliness. Your life will take off, will flourish, and then you'll be in a position to help others as well. Discover their neshama. And then he says, bringing peace between friends. This is what Aaron used to do. Aaron, the high priest, Oyev Shalom, V'reitiv Shalom. Aaron would meet two Jews arguing. So he made a point of actively trying to bring them together. He went to one Jew, he said, I just spoke to your friend and he told me that he's sorry that he's in a fight with you because he's so special and he's such a great guy and you have this quality and that quality. He says, really? He said that about me? Maybe he's not as bad as I thought. And he went to, of course he never said it, but it doesn't matter. He went to the other Jew and he said, I just spoke to your friend and he praised you to high heaven. He feels so terrible that you're fighting. He says, really? He said all those things about me? And next time you meet in the streets, they hug each other and then become best friends. And so it's making peace, bringing peace between friend and friend. Uvein ish li ishte, most important, between husband and wife. Shalom bayis. It says if husband and wife merit, Shechina shruya b'neim, Hashem is present. In their home, in their bedroom, Hashem is present. The word ish is Eish Yud, fire, Yud, the Yud of Hashem's name. Isha is Eish, fire, hey. Because the husband-wife relationship, it's fire, masculine and feminine, the attraction, but there's a Yud K, Hashem is part of the mix. Hashem's presence is there. The Rebbe pointed out, especially today's day and age, when we're trying to bring Mashiach, we're on the cusp of Mashiach. What is Mashiach? Mashiach is the reconciliation of the ultimate marriage, the ultimate husband and wife, which is Hashem, who's the groom, the husband, and the Jewish people are the wife. Mashiach will come, Hashem will consummate the marriage, that will bring peace. Right now we're like separated. Hashem destroyed his home, and Hashem is in exile, and we're in exile, and we're not living together. Mashiach will come, there'll be a shalom bayis between the ultimate couple, between the Jewish people and Hashem. So the Rebbe says, now it's more important than ever that there should be shalom bayis in the house. Because that's where the Satan is putting out all of his stops. He's pulling out all the stops to destroy the family. Everything that's evil in the world today has one goal, to destroy the family. Because the family is so sacred, the family is so key, the family is so core, so essential. It's the atom of creation, the atom of existence, especially today. When Mashiach will come, when the ultimate family will be reunited, the family of the Jewish people and the Jewish people and Hashem, to bring peace between the Jewish people and Hashem. So it's more important than ever to bend over backwards. Even if you're right, I would say, bend over backwards. Even if you need ahavat chinam, no rhyme and reason, your spouse is 100% wrong. It's time for us to bend over backwards to be peaceful. When it comes to peace, The world says, you say, Osa Shalom B'mromav. To make peace, you take 3 steps backwards. It's okay. You don't have to stand on principle. You don't have to be right. You can bend your principles, be flexible, walk backwards. Osa Shalom to make peace. And we find that peace is so important that Hashem commands us to sacrifice himself, sacrifice his name, erase his name, to make the peace between husband and wife. When a woman is suspected of being an adulteress, the Saita, Hashem says, take my name, and you're not allowed to erase Hashem's name, Hashem's holy name. And this is Hashem's Mesirat Nefesh. Hashem sacrifices his holy name, erase it, just to bring peace to husband and wife. And she drinks it, and it clarifies, and it tells us either she's innocent or not. But if she's innocent, she can go back to her husband. So the importance of bringing peace between husband and wife is like the ultimate act of kindness, the most essential thing you can do. Shalom bayis. And that's where it all begins. All of society, everything happens at home. If the home is healthy, if the atom is healthy, everything falls into place. If the home is broken, then nothing works. Everything falls apart. This is essential. So the act of helping, bringing peace in the home, this is the ultimate act of kindness. It affects everything. It affects the family and the spouses and Hashem. It says, if God forbid husband and wife are not at peace, Hashem cries. The Mizbeach, the altar cries. It affects Hashem, it affects the whole universe. If there's no harmony, no peace and harmony at home, the whole world is imbalanced. Hashem is crying, the Mizbeach is crying. So it's the ultimate act of kindness, to bring peace, shalom bayis, between husband and wife. There's nothing more primary than that. And of course the rewards for that will also be in this world. The main reward will be in the world to come. But the dividends, the payers, will be even in this world. And when he said bringing peace between husband and wife, the Rebbe would strongly encourage, whenever there's a lack of shalom bayis, that they should study the laws of mikveh well, the laws of taharat hamishpacha. Because it says, the Talmud says, our Meir says, that by keeping the mikveh and keeping the laws of taharat hamishpacha, it brings the husband and wife closer together. It's one of the benefits of the mitzvah, that they're precious, they have like a honeymoon every month. So the Rebbe says, from this you also understand the reverse. If God forbid they're not careful about these laws and these mitzvot, or they're not aware, sometimes you forget. You need a refresher's course, you have to review the laws to do it properly. They may have misunderstood some of the things. It also works in the reverse, that if you don't do the mikveh properly, it could lead to friction. So if there's friction, it's not because of anything external. More essentially, fundamentally, is because maybe they're lacking in the mikveh. They're not doing it properly or in the highest level. And the more careful they would be about the mikveh and the taharat hamishpacha and all the laws associated with it, it would surely lead to peace at home and to harmony and peace and love in the house. And then he concludes with Salmut Torah keneged kulam. We finish with the learning of Torah. We're learning it after we made the blessing for the Torah. So he's coming to teach us the importance of Torah. How the studying of Torah is the equivalent of all the mitzvot. Because firstly, without studying Torah, I can't do any of the mitzvot. If I don't study Torah, I don't know what my obligations are. Not only the mitzvot between man and God, even between man and man. Without studying Torah, I can't even fulfill all these mitzvot properly. I don't even know my duties, my obligations. So it's the mitzvah of studying Torah that leads me to all the mitzvot. But also the mitzvah of studying Torah is superior, as Alter Rebbe explains in Tanya, the first part, chapter 5, TanyaClass.com, that because Torah is the only mitzvah where you internalize it. Your mind becomes one with the mind of Hashem. You internalize it, but it's also a mitzvah like all the other mitzvahs. It's also like a garment. Because when you absorb the concept, when you're learning something in great depth, and you're absorbing a new concept, so the concept absorbs you, you are absorbed in the concept, you're totally lost in the concept. You don't fully grasp it yet. And then when you fully grasp it and you digest the concept, you absorb the concept. But then there's parts of the concept that you don't understand yet, and the concept ultimately is infinite. It's a divine concept, divine mind. So you're both enveloped and you envelop at the same time. You absorb the concept and you are absorbed by the concept. So it's like a mitzvah, it's like a garment, but it's also Torah is unique that you also, not only you absorb by it, you also absorb it, you internalize it. Especially when you say the words of Torah. The word, the The spirit of the mouth envelops you. So it becomes like a garment that envelops you. So you have both advantages. Torah has both advantages. It has the advantage of Torah, and it also has the advantage of a mitzvah. So it's the equivalent of all the other mitzvot. If Torah is the equivalent of all the mitzvot, why does it say that you have to stop learning Torah in order to help the bride and groom rejoice for achnasas kala? You just said Torah is the equivalent of all the mitzvot. So why do I have to sacrifice my Torah in order to do a mitzvah? So the Alter Rebbe explains, because the whole purpose of Torah is to teach me how to act, how to behave. If you're telling me I should always learn Torah and I'm never going to act and do the mitzvah, it's like as if I'm learning Torah in order not to do the mitzvah, which goes against the Torah. The whole point of the Torah is to teach me the will of Hashem, how to live, how to behave. If I'm never going to behave, if I'm never going to implement the Torah, I'm busy studying Torah, don't bother me, I don't have time for the mitzvah, then it's contrary to the Torah. It diminishes the Torah. It's not a proper Torah. Torah has to lead to behavior, to change, to action. So the Torah cannot be a contradiction to mitzvah. But nevertheless, it says if the mitzvah could be done by someone else, you don't have to be the one doing the mitzvah, then better you should learn Torah. Let someone else do the mitzvah and you should rather learn Torah. Because there's something unique about Torah. Because Torah engages your mind. Torah engages the best parts of you, the higher parts of you. So the revelation that you reveal through the learning of Torah, the revelation of godliness, is also much more intense. It's much more powerful than the revelation of godliness that you draw down into this world through the mitzvah. So even though the whole purpose of creation is the deed, the action, ha'maisa hu ha'ikar, it's the action that matters most. Lo ha'medrash ha'ikar el ha'maisa. It's not the learning, it's not the studying, it's the deed, the action, the doing. We live in the world of action. The whole point of creation, the whole purpose of creation is because Hashem desired to have a dwelling place in the physical world, in the lowest, which is the world of action. So action is critical. Action, lo ha'medrash ha'ikar el ha'maisa. You have to act, you have to do, you have to be active. But at the other hand, whenever you have an opportunity to learn, learning takes precedent over the action. Why? Because the revelation of godliness that you draw into this world through learning, which engages your higher faculties, your mind, and the higher levels of consciousness, so you draw down also a much more intense level of light into the world, more so than any other mitzvah. So that's where the Torah says, whenever you have an opportunity to learn, learning takes precedent. V'salma Torah keneged kula. Now when he says that you have the principle in the world to come, but the reward, you'll have some of the dividends also in this world. So the Rebbe points out this is not what it states elsewhere. It states elsewhere, if you beautify a mitzvah, it's on Hashem's account. Hashem will pay you. Because there we're talking about paying you the money that you laid out for the mitzvah. Here we're talking about the reward, nothing to do with the money you laid out to the mitzvah. It's much greater than that. You're talking about a dividend that's much greater than, it's not only Hashem is going to lay out whatever you shouldn't lose any money by doing these mitzvot. We're talking about the reward, which is much greater than the amount of money that you laid out. And this reward is only touching the dividend without touching the principle, and not all the dividends, some of the dividends. So this is the part that we studied after the blessing. So we studied from the written Torah, the Mishnah, the oral Torah, and then the Medrash from Rabbi Yochanan, the Gemara, because you have to divide your day into 3 parts. Every day you have to study a third of your day you should study the written Torah, a third of your day you should study the oral Torah, and a third of the day you should study the Gemara. And this is how we explain the mitzvah of honoring your parents, spiritually. Because the father, is compared to the written Torah. The mother refers to the oral Torah. Shma b'ni musar avicha al titesh teiris imecha. Because just like the father and the father gives the seed, but the mother is the one who develops the seed. So the Torah is written cryptically. One word in the Torah, as it's developed in the oral Torah, turns into a whole entire tractate. After 9 months from this little seed, it comes out a whole baby, a fully developed baby. Where did you find it exactly in the seed? But the mother finds in that seed, she finds and develops a fully developed baby. So too, one verse in the Torah, the oral Torah, develops it into a full. And the Torah tells us, "Kabed es avicha v'esimecha." You should honor, respect your father and then your mother. And when it says you should fear, it says your mother and then your father. First your mother and then your father. So it actually says, why does he switch the order? Why, when it comes to honor and respect, he says first respect the father and then the mother. When it comes to fear, he says first be fearful of your mother and then your father. So he actually says, because by nature, who are you afraid of more? Your father. Your father is more remote, like a king, he's distant. Because his whole relationship to you is more distant. He just made the contribution, he gave the seed. But it's the mother who developed it. Who do you love more? Who do you feel closer to emotionally? Your mother. Because she's closer to you. She's closer to the child. She's the one who developed the child. She carried the child. So the Torah is telling you that you have to honor your parents equally and you have to be afraid of them equally. So that's why he says that the mother, he puts the mother first, because naturally you would fear the father more than the mother. He says, no, you have to fear your mother just like you fear your father, and naturally you love and respect your mother more than your father. So Torah says, Kabed es avicha, your father first. So spiritually, the way it's explained is, Chassidus explains, that you honor someone by giving him food, right? So the food of the mother, which refers to the oral Torah, that's food that you can digest. It makes sense, it's learning, it's a tractate, it's spelled out, it's fully developed. You can enjoy it more. You can digest it, you can absorb it. The Torah is written very cryptically. So you don't enjoy it so much. It's like godly, it's holy. So he's telling you, you also have to respect and honor also your father. Because the question is, how could you spend a third of your day equally? A third of your day you should spend studying the written Torah. A third of your day you should spend studying the Mishnah. A third of the day spend the Gemara, learning the reasons behind it and analysis. Okay, the Mishnah we understand, there's a lot to learn. Gemara, once you get into the Gemara, there's a lot. You start delving deeper and trying to understand it, analyze it, compare it. The Torah, the Tanakh, how much is there already? Okay, you can review it, but every day spend a third of your day going over the Tanakh. And the answer is because it also refers to the Kabbalah and the inner parts of the Torah and the Agadata. That's also part of the Shlish B'Mikra, a third of the written Torah. So that's a third of your day you have to spend studying the inner parts of the Torah, the Agadata and Kabbalah, Chassidus. And that's what he's saying. You should honor, you should also find that, you should also respect that and also absorb it, digest it, you should enjoy it. You have to learn it, understand it. Just like you understand a juicy piece of Gemara, a juicy piece of Talmud, you should also get into the Chassidus, you should understand it and enjoy it. And the fear, naturally, you're more in awe when you study the written Torah, because it's godly. Hashem is speaking to Moshe. The whole Torah is godly. The prophets, it's all godly. Versus the Gemara, you're learning legalese, you're learning law, you're learning questions. It's logical, it's enjoyable. You don't feel the awe, you don't feel the godliness in it. So he's saying you should also be afraid of your mother first, to show that even when you study, you have to remember that this is divine. It's not just an intellectual pursuit. You're studying the divine, infinite mind. So you have to study it with a sense of awe.